Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We've got kind of a special day because we didn't think we were actually going to play this game tonight. So, thumbs up for everybody. I'll give you a little bit of a recap.
I never lost faith.
Yeah. We're getting into part 2 of the Harvest Hunt Moon. In our last session, we'd spent about a month inside the plague-stricken city. And as we were finally let out, we were on our way back to Candalorium. Sounds right.
All the historians are going to hate us.
Yeah, well. So as we were approaching town, a rider came up to say that there was a problem in another little village that was off from where we were, but he was being sent by our Patreon.
Pentref Fermio.
There you go. I'm going to need you to send me all of these names at some point. So we agreed that we would do that, and Doreena sort of took the lead since she is from this area, at least generally speaking. We wound up going through a creepy old woods, and it kind of felt like there were something watching, and as it turns out, there was something watching. We didn't find any footprints, I don't recall, but Malachi saw someone. Okay, we did.
You did 2 sets, actually.
Oh, right, and they kind of faded out, right?
Right.
Something like that. Yep.
And you decided not to follow them.
Yeah, absolutely not. We did wind up coming across a fairy mound as we sort of puzzled it out. Thought that was kind of weird. And we're like, nope, we're not going to do that. Like creepy old woods, forget it. So as we got closer to the village, we came upon a fairy ring. So it just never ends. The Fae are everywhere. They are encroaching on everything. Anyway, so we get to the town. We started asking around, trying to figure out what's going on.
Town rolls out the red carpet for them.
Yep.
Cider and bonfire, and everybody comes out to meet them.
I get left at the village because apparently I'm useless. I guess. I don't know. Everybody else went over to check.
You did bump your head pretty hard in the woods.
Yeah. So they went over to check the paddock where the sheep, which we were coming to investigate, there's been a disappearance of animals from the farms. So they went up to the paddock to investigate where the sheep were taken. There were some prints there as well. 6-legged prints that kind of looked like maybe cat-like, but that doesn't make any sense because there's no 6-legged cats. That's crazy talk.
6-legged cat's the size of a tiger print.
Right.
To be clear.
We found out through some of the investigating we were doing, one of the village girls came into town with a heavy gold coin. Her father was taking the coin to another town to try to lay in some winter supplies. So there may be some Fae things going on where that's either intentional or non-intentional from some of the villages. There's a local scuttlebutt. These person don't get along with those person, that kind of stuff. And we sort of spent the night. Nothing happened. And we were picking up in the morning, and we were going to do some more investigating. I think that covers it.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, listen to the show. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Okay. I need everybody to make a luck roll. Tell me if someone fails.
Fuck, luck rolls. Why do we roll so many dice? I don't understand.
Rolling right off the bat.
God damn it.
This is the most Legends of Tabletop game.
For all keepers out there, have your players roll for everything. It gives them a sense of agency in the narrative. It makes them feel like they're responsible for their story. Even if it's just to see if the diner is out of wheat toast, have them roll. They don't need to know what they're rolling for, but it makes it feel important.
A 96 out of 70, so.
Oh, that's okay. Well, actually, this was an important roll, and that's a critical failure.
God damn it.
3 sheep were taken. And a 19-year-old shepherd is missing.
That's my bad.
This is why we left you behind.
So it seems that whatever creature has been stalking the the forest line in this area has in fact possibly taken its first human victim.
So, wait, so this was overnight while we were out watching, trying to keep an eye out to see?
Yeah.
Well, no, you guys went to bed. You weren't patrolling.
Oh.
We had a super long day, so we all decided to turn in. I think we might have kept a watch. I don't
remember
recall
they were
specifically.
pulling all the sheep into the closer paddocks, and they were going to keep fires and shepherds out watching. But remember, one guy said that this thing took a sheep from his paddock, and he probably was no more than 40 feet away, and he heard and saw nothing.
No, I know at least, I thought we were planning on staying out. That was my recollection, was I was going to stay out at least for a bit to try to keep an eye out.
Well, with a 97, you could have been in that paddock when it happened, and it still would have happened.
Thanks, Marcion.
He gets up, stretches. Did anything happen?
For that kid's death.
Jesus. All right, wait, so how many? You said 3 sheep and a shepherd.
3 sheep and a 19-year-old shepherd.
A youngin.
Yeah. Well, in this
No.
period, that's, he could be married with 2 kids.
So, so we wake up, and who gives us the news? Like, do we hear people yelling, or how do we find out?
You hear, everybody seems just crestfallen. Some people, a few people are weepy. It's like, this village is like 7 families. So everybody knows everyone else. So everyone knew this kid.
What family?
Any more of the prints at all in the area where he was taken from, or the sheep?
I'm
assuming he was watching the sheep that went missing, right?
They heard him. The other 2 shepherds heard him scream. And then the sheep kind of like fled from that area, and they didn't know if he was screaming because he'd seen something or he'd been attacked. It was dark and the sheep were moving around. So they retreated with the sheep to, as far away from that area as they could. When nothing ended up chasing them, they built up their courage and went out, and then they just saw the blood.
So they didn't see a body. They just saw blood.
They didn't see a body. They just saw blood of where this guy was,
Do we know, or can we find out what house this guy?
Oh, everybody, they tell you it's like 2 farms over.
All right, so I'm gonna go look and see if we can see any of those 6-footed tiger prints again.
I'll go with Malachi.
Whatever this mythical creature is that.
Okay, you head over there and you see the boy's prints. You see there's still blood on the grass. So roll a tracking.
A 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you something else. It looks like this thing crept in, killed 2 sheep, went into the woods, hid them, came back, killed 1 sheep, hid that one, came back, killed this guy, went in a different direction from where it hid the sheep, and when it went into the forest, the tracks just end. And because you rolled a 6, you realized what it did, and you find claw marks in a tree about 12 feet up.
Wow.
So it came to the edge of the forest, and instead of entering the forest, it leapt into a tree and carried this guy with him. And then later came back for the 3 sheep it hid.
I got a 12 out of 70 for spot hidden. Is there any sign of where it went from the tree? Is it still?
Make a luck roll.
Right.
Don't fail it.
It's okay. I'm not wrong.
You do see trails of broken twigs, and I mean it's autumn, so trees are starting to lose their leaves. It looks like this thing moved through the trees for a distance before climbing back down to throw off trackers.
All right.
Which is way more intelligent than any animal you've encountered, Doreena.
That's what I was concerned about. It's
Okay, I grab the minigun and just shoot up the lane.
Nah.
Where's Steve Irwin?
I turn to Doreena. Do we want to try to chase this thing? Maybe we can find its prints farther out.
So it looks like it went up.
Mm-hmm.
So who's good at climbing?
Well, you can't track it through the trees. You're not like monkeys.
Yeah.
You know, you're not like orangutan rangers.
Well,
It looks like it did this to throw off tracking,
mhm.
but it's not primarily a boreal.
Okay.
Like you can see claw marks, like even like Malachi saw, it leapt from here to here. There's claw marks. There's broken twigs. It's as horrible as this is. It's more stealthy on the ground than in the trees. It only uses trees, I guess, to throw off tracking.
Okay. So yeah, we should definitely try to look a little bit further. And see if there's anything else.
You do have another lead before you start going into the woods.
Okay.
Just to remind you, you had the girl with the double weight gold coin that her father is leaving today. So if you want to catch him before he heads out, you'll have to do that soon. Or you can follow these tracks when, I guess the iron is hot.
Do we dare split the group? Perhaps myself and Marcion can go into the town and speak with the family while the two of you head into the woods to hopefully track but not encounter this beast.
Town's kind of a strong word for what this place is.
Well, yeah.
It's basically like seven
like a dozen houses.
seven farms stretched along 3 miles of road.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about.
I would be amenable to such if you wish. If you think that we can gather any information from them, it might prove quite useful.
I think Doreena, Malachi, it's ultimately up to you whether or not you feel safe in your journey alone.
I feel safe.
Let's do this.
It's daytime.
Of the essence.
Can I make an occult roll real quick to see if my character would recognize that cold iron and fey don't mix? Right, like your player character.
Roll it.
Yeah, player knowledge character. Like I don't know how much more intuitive they would be about that sort of stuff. Yeah. 40. I can't read that. 42 out of 55.
Yeah, you do remember that legend about the Fae.
So I turn to them as they turn to go, and he says, "A moment. I seem to recall that the Fae are impeded, perhaps, or at least have somewhat of an aversion to cold iron. If perhaps if you could grab something before you go, it may be quite beneficial. If you happen to find what you're looking for."
Well, I pull out my gladius and ask, is this cold iron enough?
Would it be made out of iron?
There's iron and steel.
Hey.
I mean,
What?
Alexa, find cold iron.
I don't know that much. I know that, and I don't know.
I mean, would you recommend farm tools, or do they have any farm tools on hand? I can swing as long as it's club-like. I can use it pretty effectively. So.
Yeah, like a poker. So like add a character. I think like cold iron would be like raw iron, I guess, sort of, right? Like not with any sort of other
Right.
stuff.
Traditionally, things like horseshoes,
Nails.
Iron knives, and scissors, and nails are all traditional cold iron things that were used to ward off the Fae.
Iron knives, nails, perhaps. They must have these things in the village. If nothing else, they may just.
I'll grab a. I mean, if there's like a shovel, a shovel or anything like that nearby, that'll be made out of iron.
You can go back to the farm where this guy was taken and make a luck roll.
09.
They let you borrow the wrought iron fireplace poker, which will do the same damage as your club.
Okay. Yep.
It's a weapon you're extremely well familiar with.
Indeed, it is.
Nice.
All right, and then I'm running. Ideally, not too far ahead of Doreena, though.
Yes, please don't.
Okay, so the two of you are going to look, and the other two are going to go talk to the townspeople, the villagers who. Herminius, are you going to speak to the people or go look for the monster?
Speaking with the people.
Okay.
My,
all right, let me deal with
my strength is in the word, not in the muscle.
Let's deal with the monster hunters. Doreena, you're going to need to give me 3 tracking rolls.
3? You got it.
3.
$22. That's 1 successful.
Okay, so you follow the tracks for a while, and you find the bones of all 3 sheep.
Okay.
But you don't find any sign of the missing youth.
Okay, so my second roll is a failure. It's an 82.
Okay.
Can't
You've lost
spend
the
more.
tracks.
Okay.
You can try to pick them up, but this will take you'll have to kind of scout around and roll again. So you've losing the tracks cost you some time.
Okay. No, I'll definitely, if it's okay with Malachi, continue
Malachi,
on.
you can back her up with tracking, even if you have base.
I don't have great tracking. I have very good spot hidden.
Okay, did you want to roll spot hidden when you got to the sheep?
Oh, I have that as well.
Wait, is that? Oh my God, I rolled a 100.
Okay, you find nothing.
Dear God, I've never rolled a 100 before.
It's a really pretty butterfly.
My eyes fell out of my head for a second. Literally, I put
Did he walk into a tree and just fall down for a second? All right, so we'll continue looking.
Okay. Did you roll your spot hidden, Doreena?
No, I did not.
Okay.
42. I am at least a regular.
Okay. You do find signs of excavation, as if something has dug a hole under a log.
Can I move the log to see if
You move the log and move away some of the earth and the fallen leaves and twigs, and you see the corpse of the farm boy. It's been eviscerated, and all of the internal organs have been taken out, and they are missing.
Why was it hidden like this?
So I have an additional question. Does it look like it was ravaged by an animal? Or
Yes.
okay, so the organs were taken out in a claw marking or
Right.
something of that nature. Okay, sorry, Malachi.
You can roll a natural world, and I'll actually answer that, Malachi.
Okay. What the hell is my natural world? Oh, I just have the base natural world. 07.
Okay.
Nice.
When an animal is in a hurry, it will usually eat all the internal organs of its prey because that's where all of the minerals and nutrients are. And some cats, if they're not going to be guarding a kill, they will hide the body or conceal it or drag it up into a tree where other predators can't get to it. So you're thinking that it ate what it could and stashed the rest and hid it, possibly planning to come back at another time.
But I mean, so there's nothing. It doesn't seem unusual that it was just the shepherd that was hidden separately from the sheep.
That's interesting because
That's what I was wondering.
yeah, because at first it took 2 sheep, hid, and then it took a second. But I think he could have put them. It could have put it all in the same area because it went out in 3 runs. The first one, it took 2 sheep with it. Second time, it took 1 sheep. The third time, they took the shepherd. So possibly because of the
What was different about the
Better-
shepherd?
human.
What else?
A male.
Young. He was
Was this-
watching the sheep.
I'll allow you to make an idea roll if you really want it, but it's not that important.
Okay.
I have no ideas.
34. I guess that probably succeeded. Yeah.
Every time a sheep has been taken, no one even heard the sheep raise an alarm. The other shepherds heard this guy scream.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Okay. So most likely ate human first, then went for sheep.
Or was it going after the sheep and he got in the way or something else? You know?
Okay, that actually sounds, without looking at Oscar, yeah, no,
I'm
that sounds,
gonna turn off my camera.
yeah, that sounds more realistic. If it's never taken a human before and this one actually caused a disturbance.
Maybe this shepherd actually almost caught him or caught this creature. Maybe surprised the creature or at least caught it off guard while it was nabbing sheep.
We would have to look at the area, check the tracks, see if there was any additional footage from the shepherd, sorry. That's a possibility if we want to look into it. Did we notice any human tracks as we were entering the forest?
No.
Okay. So definitely didn't make it that far.
Any sign of our friends that the fae that we saw earlier in the woods the day before, or whenever that was, when we were coming into
Nope.
Not yet, at least.
I imagine that was in a different direction.
It could be, but I mean, I didn't get the sense that they necessarily were just in one spot. It seems like the presence of the fae is pretty strong in this area, or in general. But
No, I that might be also something we should look into.
I don't know anything about fae, but do they keep animals like this at all? Do they have animal familiars or anything?
Would I know any of this?
No.
Yeah.
I
I need to ask those book nerds back in the village when they get back.
Yeah, we could look for an elder.
All right, so you spent some time searching here. You lost the tracks. Do you want to try and pick up the trail?
Yeah.
I was thinking keep going.
How
Oh.
late in the day is it?
I'm going to say every time you roll tracking and every time you roll spot hidden, that's about half an hour to 40 minutes. So
Okay.
you've rolled tracking twice and spot hidden once. So you've been out here for almost 40, 80. You've been out here for 2 hours already.
Okay, we'll continue.
And we left in
If
the
you're-
morning, so it's still
Right.
should be not even midday yet.
All right, so roll your tracking.
20 out of 70.
Okay, you follow this creature's tracks. And then you come to a spot of lots of tracks, lots of maneuvering tracks, and multiple tracks of this thing, and 2 other sets of slender booted tracks intercepting it.
Ooh. Do these slender booted tracks look reminiscent of what I saw the day before?
Yes.
Okay. Do they look like they're walking companion in partnership together?
No, it looks like they were fighting it.
Oh.
Wow.
It looks like you've come upon a battle. You don't find any blood, but you do. And I mean, you'll have to make a spot hidden to see if you can find anything else.
Oh no.
I passed.
You do find claw marks on a couple of a tree trunk.
Mm-hmm.
You find and you do find a little bit. You find a. It looks like somebody gathered up a few leaves and wiped blood off of a blade.
Oh.
Like you see pinched leaves with blood in the crease.
Okay. So, in that commotion, was there any signs of a large creature on its side, or no?
No.
Okay.
But it does seem like one of these Fae may have struck a blow against this creature.
If they had time to wipe blood off their blade, I would imagine so.
Do you
Yeah.
want to?
Not only strike a blow, but also perhaps succeed, or at least drive the creature off.
Mm.
Yes, I do. I want to whatever you were going to suggest.
Do you want to see where the tracks go from here? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes, please.
What are the tracks? Are they 2 sets of tracks? Can we find?
You'll have to roll.
Yeah. Okay.
I have an 11.
It seems the beast escaped, into a tree and started moving above ground, above the ground to leave the area.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 figures left in the opposite direction, and one of them had developed a pretty serious limp.
Oh. So, Tiger went up. Well, assuming. And then one person, one with a limp. So
again, that was an extra hour and a half of like you interpreting the 2 paths that led away.
Mm-hmm.
Took you 40 minutes to read the signs. But now you have a clear understanding of how the battle ended.
Do we have a sense of how long ago it was?
Last night.
Oh, okay. Last night.
After the attacks. Close to morning, actually.
Doreena, do we want to continue on to follow the Fae?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they may actually be allies of ours. Have we even talked to the villagers about their fate?
No.
Hopefully, the book nerds back in the village will be thinking of these
So personally,
thoughts their way.
I feel like if this is a fresh track, it's best to follow, as they did not harm us when we first came.
Yeah.
They've scared the out of me, but I would rather go that way, find out more information, than try to follow the creature.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's go. So it's probably still midday. So as long as we
Yeah.
don't lose track of time.
I have rations. I mean,
All right.
yes.
Doreena, give me. You know what? Give me a percentile check. I'm not telling you what you're rolling.
73.
Okay. Now you just got to look up your character sheet.
Depending on what it is, I might have passed or can spend 3 luck points if needed. I might have actually.
Oh shit! I forgot about luck spending. I gotta tell you then. Okay, this was a POW check.
Oh, wow.
Oh shit.
Oh, I'm safe. I'm fine.
Okay. Roll tracking.
I can't track shit.
Okay.
Bye, dice.
All right. You've burned another 40 minutes, and apparently these guys do not want to be followed.
I asked Malachi.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm much better at spotting hidden tracking. And
Right. You're a city guy. Track. You know what do you know about tracking?
yeah. I got a 14. I just have the base. I think 10 is tracking.
Yeah. Unless you want to spend luck, you won't make it. All right. So you've lost the trail of the Fae.
But we do have at least some information, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot, I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like we go back to the village, talk to the people, see what they know about the Fae. Maybe there's some way we can build a stronger connection with the Fae. They seem like they might be able to help us. By the way, what is with that coin? I keep thinking about the coin.
Meanwhile, back at the village.
I just wanted to mark
rations
where we were last on the tree, and then okay, thanks.
Okay, Herminius and Marcion visit this family that has the girl who found the coin.
I'm sorry. While we're walking over, I want to. We're just kind of making small talk. I say to Herminius, yesterday, when we came in, I'd asked, one of the villagers about, making the proper sacrifices. This is, of course, it is a Roman population, kind of, but he was quite offended. But I did notice that. Within the house, on the hearth, there were 2 figures that I could not quite place. I assume they were gods, some representation of something, and then I would give him a description of what I saw to see if it's something that he's familiar with, because I think I had failed the roll.
So Herminius, you're from Antioch, right?
From Salona, or at least that's where I was born.
What's the providence?
Let's see, in Dalmatian or Dalmatia.
Okay, he's
in
nowhere.
Greece.
He's
actually, well, that's right. So yeah, apparently I do. That's where I was born, but I do hail from Salona. That's where I last was.
Okay, so you're not familiar with the local gods. I mean, if you roll a critical on a cult, I'll give you something, but
yeah. Nope, that's a 39 out of 20. So
he's got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, it could be some kind of local malformation of the deities or some, regionalized figure.
Yes, interesting. To the matter at hand. Do you wish to take the lead on this?
Yes, I do believe that would probably be for the best. While you seem enthusiastic and well-intentioned, I do not believe that your energy quite comes off in a helpful manner.
I'm not quite sure I understand.
No, it's quite fine. Don't worry.
Okay, so you get to the farm, and you see the head guy. He's packing up a wagon. The wagon is empty. But they see you, the local heroes, and come to investigate this. And he kind of gets down off the wagon. And he's like, well, Matt, I'm Antor. This is my farm. What can I help you with, sirs?
Antor, I believe that I have heard of your daughter, Curdy?
Kundry, yes.
Kundry, that's it. I have horrible handwriting.
I don't know how to respond to that, sir.
Yes, I heard that your farm has been able to escape the recent devastations of the sheep. I consider you quite lucky.
I wouldn't say we've escaped, sir. We've had some thefts.
Oh, have you now? My
Yes.
apologies.
Whatever's going on, our farm was our stores were raided, and a goose was taken, a loaf of bread, a wheel of cheese, and a basket of eggs was all pilfered by whatever spirit or creature. But we've not been immune, sir.
Well, that is very strange. What did they break in? Was there any devastation to the stocks?
No, things were just taken, quite a bit actually. We're, sir, we're modest folk. A dozen eggs that'll feed a family for a day or two.
I do not.
Loaf of bread.
I do not.
These are dire stores.
Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine the impact that has had on you.
And the goose, we were going to be making pies with that for the festival.
Oh, very good, very good. It is a shame. It's it almost makes you wonder exactly whom is coming into this town now. It feels as though the sheep and everything and the livestock has been ransacked.
We've lost
Whereas
far too many.
this seems calculated almost.
I can't explain it, sir. I'm hoping that you'll find answers for us.
Herminius, if I may interrupt for just a moment. Yes, I am Marcion of Corinthus. Yes, it seems that most people, the depredations or the theft, if you will, the removal of the sheep, is the common factor, and yet. It seems as if the things that were taken from you, while also important to the survival of the village, points to perhaps a different a culprit, maybe a separate entity, perhaps. From what I recall, if the keeper lets us go, is that. Well, as we were on our way here, we noticed that very close to the outskirts of the town, we had passed I guess you would call it in the common parlance, a fairy ring. It seems as if there may be some fey inhabitants in this area, and we don't know exactly how they're connected.
Okay,
but
Marcion, roll your luck.
God damn it. Roll 39 under. Where the fuck did my sheet go?
I don't know how to reply to that, sir.
39 under 70.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Herminius, roll your spot hidden.
All right. Not great, but we'll see. That is 93 out of 50.
Oh god.
No amount of luck's gonna solve that.
Spend all of it. I don't want to get stabbed.
Okay, Marcion, roll your spot hidden, but with a penalty dice.
Oof. Okay. All right. So 10s and 10s. Let's see. I have an 5 or a 35.
Ooh, so that'll.
My spot hidden is 40, so it's a success.
As soon as you start talking about the Fae, you see a farm girl drop a pail of milk, hastily pick it up, and turn in the other direction to get away from where you are.
Is it? Oh, I wouldn't know if it was his daughter or not. Okay. He like pauses and sort of cocks his head. He says, well, I don't.
And he says, "The Fae, sir, we've not. Those are stories for children to keep them out of the woods, so wolves don't eat them."
Marcia, and I'll turn to Antor and say, I do apologize, good sir. He fills his head with fanciful stories. And
well, you are
and
the
such.
experts. We look to you for answers.
Yes, but I prefer to align myself with more reasonable answers. It's very nice to have this kind of research here and there, though, to give certain signs. And I'll turn back to Marcion and be like, but Marcion, we cannot let ourselves get carried away, especially in front of other people. I kind of like give him like a wink and like.
Of course, your best judgment. I just it's fine. And he'll take 2 steps back and just sort of like, cross his arms, but he's like, frenetically like bouncing. He's not just standing still. He's like actively standing still.
So no,
standing still.
Yeah. Antor, where might you be heading off to with an empty cart? Wouldn't you be taking some goods to trade?
He says, "No, I'm actually going to buy some goods for the farm and a few of my companions. My daughter was lucky enough to stumble upon a gold coin, but it's too heavy weight. We can't change it here."
That must be some heft of a coin in order to procure.
Yes, I've never seen anything like it in these parts.
Macreon like puts his hand, like starts to like raise his hand and kind of step forward, and then it's like, and then he like steps back.
Would it be possible, only to alleviate the research that my dear friend would like to do, is it possible that he at least just take a look at the coin?
Certainly, sir.
I do promise
no
we will do
that.
it right in front of you, and you will fully get it back.
He passes you the gold coin.
Quite interesting. Look at
it's like double weight of a Roman gold coin.
What are the markings on the faces?
There's a tree on one side and the sun on the other.
These are interesting. Obviously not a coin from the Empire, not one that I've ever seen. He like kind of like holds it up to like let the light glint off and see if he picks up any other kind of like weird, whatever. Like he's just turning it over and yeah. He kind of like hefts it once or twice and passes it back over. He says, "Herminius, have you ever seen anything quite like this before?"
Is it possible that I've seen anything like that in my travel? Oh.
Nope. You are completely sure you've never seen a coin like this.
Yeah. No, I have never set eyes on something as such. Artur, I know we do not want to hold
the
you
coin
up in your
back.
travels. Yes. Is it possible that we might speak to your daughter and she could possibly show us, or at very least tell us where she found this coin. It might give us insight into whom is the people who are raiding your settlement here. If we could find where they found it, then we might be able to find who they are.
I don't see the harm. And he yells, "Kundry!" And the girl you saw kind of walking away comes strolling back. And he says, "But gentlemen, I must insist that she not leave the farm. She not leave the ground. A young man was taken last night. I need to keep my family very close to the inside. Wherever she found it, if it is connected, I don't want her going anywhere near where that was."
Completely understood. In fact, 2 of our associates now are in the woods attempting to hunt down whatever took that young man. So yes, we will ensure that she is safe and she will not leave the farm.
Hold on.
I would like to pull Herminius aside. He says, if you could give us just one moment.
Kurnos be with them. I hope they'll be okay. And he actually calls to 2 of his older boys and says, I leave you in charge until I return. I hope to be back tomorrow morning. None of your brothers or sisters are to leave the farm. Keep an eye on everyone and listen to your mother. And he says, gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I do have a bit of a road ahead of me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Spurns the oxen forward and the cart rolls off.
I lean in real close to Herminicus and say, what did you think of the fellow? Do you think he was being truthful? I kind of wanted him to make an insight check before he left. I don't know if he could do it like post. Yeah.
No.
I believe that he is being truthful as much as he can be. However, I do not believe that the source of his troubles and the source of everyone else's in regards to the sheep are one and the same.
No. You see, because the eggs and the butter, it's like a tithing for the Fae. They take cream and milk and butter, all of these things, and we don't know.
Yes, and these taken within the stores also feel a little bit more mischievous and not as aggressive as butchering sheep in the fields.
Yeah, he did not lose any livestock. Just the things from the store. That it doesn't make sense.
I completely agree. So yes, we'll make our way over to Kundry then to speak with her.
She says, "Sirs, I am Kundry. You had questions for me," and she doesn't raise her eyes.
Yes, we had been speaking with your father, and how rumors get about town and such, and we had heard about the coin that you had found, and in fact, your father just showed it to us. It was very impressive. Neither of us have seen anything like it amongst in our journeys.
Yes, it was a lucky find.
Agreed. Is there any way that you could tell us where you found it?
She tells you that she was walking the line of the fence, counting the sheep to make sure that none of them had been taken. And she looked down, and there it was in the grass by one of the posts. She picked it up, she ran back to the farm and gave it to her dad.
So you found it on your property then?
At the edge of our property, yes, closest to the forest.
Is there any way, and I'll turn to one of the brothers, like, is there any way, especially since it is within your fence line, that you could escort us and your sister to closer, just so that we can get a more exact placement of where this coin was?
Make a persuade.
That is a 31 out of 70.
They say I don't see the harm, but we won't be staying long.
Oh, no, not at all. Just a quick travel there, and then once you escort us, you may return right back to the farm.
Okay, the two boys grab pitchforks, and they keep their sister behind and between them. She tells them where she says she found the coin. You go over to the fence line. They stop like 50 yards from the post she says she found it at.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start heading back.
All right. Actually, along on the walk, even if it's just a few minutes, I'd just like to kind of carefully prod about the goods that were taken from their storage. Just in regards to, were there any signs of a break-in? Any, how it seems to be a wild beast. Yeah.
It doesn't seem that anything was broken into or ransacked.
Hmm.
Like nothing was spilled or knocked over or broken.
Yeah. And has there been any rivalries of a sort that have popped up? Not that I want to put blame on another person, but could it possibly be that a house that has become somewhat jealous or been less off than you, that is perhaps struggling?
They say no, that they know everyone. Everyone here is in some way or another related to everyone else through marriage or childhood friendships or cousins. They all look out for each other. So they don't think that it was another family's mischief or a robbery or anything like that.
And they seem kind of pretty up and up on that.
Are you asking me to roll an insight?
Sure, yeah.
Your insight roll will tell you if people are lying. That's what you should be rolling. A lot when you're talking to people.
Oh, that's an 88 out of 65.
They seem to be telling the truth.
Yeah. They're kids. Why would they lie? All right. Yep. So I'll just kind of
Macrion, you can back him up on these. Yep. You can watch people's body language when he talks, and
I'll make the roll. I got a 5. I have it at base.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, motherfucker!
Roll 3.
I rolled an 09.
you want to burn?
Yeah. I'll spend 4 points for one.
The boys seem like they believe everything they're saying, and the girl looks uneasy as AF. She is definitely hiding something.
Do they walk away when we get there? He would try to somehow. I don't know that they would allow her to be separated. You know what I mean? I want to get her by herself, or at least away from the brother.
Close to the forest, probably not going to be a place where her brothers are going to leave her alone.
Yeah. So he makes a mental note then. He, again, he kind of raises his hand like he's going to say something, and then, kind of shuffles a little bit, and then.
Okay. So you're out at the post. Is there anything you want to do when you're out here?
Spot hidden. See if there's another coin, perhaps.
Roll.
If this is an ongoing sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say at this point, if we kind of are there, we'd take a look around.
9.
Nope.
71 out of 50. Definitely not.
Nope.
I don't see anything. Perhaps it was a one time. What was the cycle for the moon last night?
Oh, exactly how many days ago was it that you found this coin, Kundry?
2. The night before last.
And when was it that your stores were broken into?
That same night.
He wants to say something, but he's and he starts poking. He starts poking her
and kind of put a finger up, and I'll kind of escort Marcion off a few feet.
The coin was payment for the goods for the fairies. For the fairies.
Yes, I was thinking the same exact thing, actually.
He touches his nose. Yes, but she knows. I think she knows. Did you catch the tilt of her head, the tension in the shoulders? She is aware. We need to try to speak with her when her brothers are not there.
Yes, I do not believe that this might be the place, though, but perhaps tonight at dinner.
Do you believe there's anything else to be gained here? We could go back as we get closer. Beg for a word.
I believe that we could take a quick look around, but I do not feel as though the two of us should stray much further away from the fence line.
Okay, sure, yep.
So yeah, take another quick little look around, make it look like we're actually doing something.
Okay.
Roll acting.
Okay. And then we'll come back and be like, it's like, well, I do believe that we have discerned all that we can from this for now, but thank you very much for showing this to us, country. I believe that once our friends return, that they would very much like to survey this area as well. In the meantime, all this walking has made me quite parched. Is there any way that you have some of that delicious cider?
Certainly, I'll fetch some for you, sir.
Yeah, so we'll come with you. No need for you to make a big trek of it.
Okay, so you do manage to get her by herself.
Yeah.
So Macreon is just like, when we were discussing the coin and you finding it, the goods from the store, you seem somewhat uncomfortable. Your father was quite vehement in that the Fae folk are just a history, a folklore, perhaps, but I believe that we both know that there is sometimes some truth to these stories, is there not?
Yes, my dear, you might feel perfectly fine confiding any information in us. There is almost nothing that we will not believe.
Make a persuade check.
Which one?
That
both.
is
You both tried it.
Okay.
that is a 20 out of 70.
Ooh, I like hardcore failed. 93 out of 30. He's like real close talking, you know?
She leans forward and says, we weren't robbed. They meant no harm. It was an honest exchange.
See? He like starts pointing at Herminius.
So they said no one else would understand, but they chose me.
For what exactly? Were they clear as to what it is that they expect of you or from you?
They were hungry. They've been out there. They didn't bring supplies, and they were staying in the area, and they were hoping to purchase some supplies. They had gold, and they asked very little. I didn't think there'd be any harm. I'd give the coin to my father, and we'd be able to replace whatever was taken. I don't believe that they're the ones taking the sheep.
Nor do we.
You said they were staying here. Do you know? Did they say where they were coming from? Like, he's super excited now. Like, this is like a whole new thing.
He says, "Coming from, sir, they were she."
My pardon.
Tall and beautiful. They were eternal, like light.
Yes.
They were hungry, and they needed my help, and they gave me a gold coin, sir.
Did they come from the fairy ring? There was also a fairy mound that we passed while we were on our way to the village.
She says that yes, they're most likely from that realm. I didn't ask, but they were definitely not from our world.
Yes, being in the presence of such a.
She says, "You'll not tell anyone
medical-
that I had dealings with them, will you?"
No, of course not.
We're taught from a very young age not to have any dealings with the she in this village. There are stories of those who had, and they've never gone well. But, they weren't asking me to dance or for a kiss or anything like that. They were just hungry. And they had coin, and they gave me the coin up front. So I thought there would be no harm in actually dealing with them. But I would have not gone with them, sir, not into the woods. I'm not that sort of girl.
So did you actually find the coin where you told us you found it?
Is
that where they approached you?
She hangs her head and says, "No, sir."
Where is it that they approached you?
They were at my window.
Yes. Interesting. And you didn't promise them anything, did you? Exchange goods for
She hangs
coin?
her head and she says, "I promised them I wouldn't tell anyone," and looks ashamed.
Yes, my dear.
At herself. She
Yes,
says,
my dear. But
swear you won't tell anyone I had dealings. My mother would be very upset.
We would gain absolutely nothing from telling your family or friends.
She says, "But that gold coin is more money than this farm makes in 3 years."
And your father already has it, and he is already heading into town.
My parents would have forbade it.
Well, the Fae are tricky. Words, contracts, binding. You cannot make promise to not divulge their existence is probably fine, but sometimes you can be caught up in things that go beyond what they seem to be.
Yes, trust me. The wording of a promise or a contract is very important, especially when you are dealing with creatures as such. So please, could you tell us exactly what they asked for to your best of your recollection?
They asked for a sack of food. Some fowl, some bread and cheese, some eggs. We had all of that here. So I took a sack. I went to our stores, filled it with supplies, gave it to them. They'd already paid me the coin ahead of time. They told me that they were very grateful and that they will do their best to leave the area as soon as possible, and that everyone should keep their sheep and their young ones close to home for the next few nights.
So they are aware of the other creature, then, it would seem.
I don't know, sir.
I see no reason why they would ask you to keep their secret and pay for goods if they were the ones causing the mischief.
That's why I'm sure they're not. Why would they need a goose if they had 24 sheep?
Indeed. Interesting. Perhaps we should meet up with Doreena and Malachi and see if they have found anything. If they said to keep everyone close for a few nights, they may know. Did they leave any way for you to get in touch with them? Did they say that they would be back at all?
They did not, sir. They said that they will do their best not to come back.
Now, how if you could just just jog my memory. How long have the sheep raids been going on for?
4 days.
4 days.
Today's the 5th. Will be the 5th night.
Yep. So they've been attacking for 4 nights, but she found the coin 2 nights ago. All right. Okay.
Well, found.
Well, yes.
All right, we'll say that it is now midday, well into early afternoon when Doreena and Malachi return to the farm where you're staying.
All right.
They look hot. Well, not hot. It is autumn. They look tired and as if they've been tramping through the woods for several hours.
So they look like exactly what they've been doing.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Pretty
we're
much.
sitting with cider, just kind of like hanging out.
Right. Cider, fresh fruit.
All right, so you guys can
I just
unpack
give
your
them a dirty
adjectives.
look.
Oh.
Did you find anything?
Yes, we did.
Found bits.
We found remains. We found tracks. We can confirm that the shepherd is no longer with us.
That's unfortunate.
As is the sheep. It's very unfortunate. It looked as if the beast was in a rush. We've also determined that this might have been the first human to have discovered it or caught it in its tracks and may have taken the boy because of it. This is something that hasn't happened before. And based upon the tracks, we saw that it first came for 2 sheep. It came back for another sheep. And then it took the boy. We also know he made noise. So most likely it wasn't planning on taking anyone. Malachi, did I miss anything?
The other thing is, well, we saw that they ran into, or it ran into some of what we think might have been
Oh,
the
you don't
fey
say.
creatures in the woods.
Malachi, let them finish.
Yes.
Yes.
And it appears not exactly on the same page. There was definitely a fight between at least maybe 2 fey and this creature. It didn't seem to necessarily go very well for both, but at least one of the fey was injured, and we tried to follow, but it just was too hard to keep the trail. The creature seems to get lose any followers by going up into the trees and then losing anyone that might be trying to follow its trail. So it's a very cunning creature.
The sheep, were they all eaten?
Yes.
They were largely digested. They were stored, which seems to be, perhaps the animal planning to come
Yes.
back.
Should we stake out the area where the bodies are then to see if perhaps the creature returns? We may be able to take it unawares, perhaps.
We could. Do we know, has it taken something every night?
Yeah. It's attacked
from the
every-
village? So if it's taking something from every night, then it may not necessarily be coming
Yes,
back.
astute
to
observation.
these,
But more to the point, you said that the fey creatures they attacked this creature.
It's hard to say. I don't know if we could see Doreena. Do you know? Could we tell who attacked whom? We just know there was a fight between
I
them.
don't think we got that information. I don't know.
But a battle nonetheless.
Yes. It does seem that they drew blood from the beast and warned the beast off, but it could be coming back.
If it please, then we may be able to kill it.
Trying not to insert another predator.
I had to. Well, we
No,
we
you didn't have to. You won.
Yeah,
I think he had to.
we spoke with the farmer. We saw the coin. It was quite unusual. There was a tree on one side and a sun on the other. It was about twice the weight of a Roman standard coin. It was not something that I was familiar with. The farmer as well was unclear to its origin. But the interesting thing is, we spoke with the daughter, and she was given the coin by the two Fae whose footprints that you encountered, perhaps the people that we saw on our way to the village.
Was it two
Yes,
Fae? Did she say that it was two
Yes.
Fae?
She did, yes.
Yes, two unearthly, beautiful female Fae creatures or Fae people. I not one to make that assessment. I suppose if we could see them in the flesh, as it were, then perhaps we. But regardless, they paid her the coin for certain goods that were taken from the store. They were in our realm, as it were, for a period of time and did not bring supplies. It seems that they are staying at maybe perhaps move through the fairy mound that we passed. Perhaps we could go there and see if we could contact them, maybe.
So more importantly, they warned her of the beast or beasts that are attacking the sheep. So they are well aware of whatever this monster is. And
Okay.
have been for a few days now.
Did they happen to maybe indicate at all how long this might be a threat for?
They said for the next few nights.
Interesting.
This was 2 nights ago.
Oh, so time might be limited for this. Do you learned men know of any reason why they may know that this was just something that would happen for 4 or 5 or 6 nights or something? And then,
Would that be an occult roll?
or a natural lore, or perhaps could it be something of the season?
You don't have enough information to really
Yeah.
come up with a theory.
What? I'm sorry. I'm just a little concerned. They did not come prepared
Yeah.
for their travels. Why would anyone leave without food or necessary supplies if they're traveling?
My assumption is that they did not intend to come into our realm. I'm not exactly sure how or why, but I believe that they and this creature have accidentally found themselves in our world.
Maybe
So
their path back to their Fey realm has been cut off. Perhaps this creature has something to do with their inability or their placement here in this time now.
Yeah, quite possibly this creature might also be the reason why they are here. Maybe they are chasing it.
Doesn't it seem odd that they both the Fae and this creature seem to be here around the same time, and both events are quite unusual? But
Agreed.
who came first, the Fae or the Beast?
The eternal question. Well, the beast has been attacking for 4 nights now. This will inevitably be the 5th. Meanwhile, the Fae approached Kundry 2 nights ago. Now, we do not know how long the Fae have been here, but they did get desperate enough to approach a human. So chances are they might have been here at least 2 or 3 nights. So it is quite possible that the Fae and this creature have been in our world for about the same time.
So the Fae are no harm to us.
I do not believe so.
Could it be that the Fae are hunting this creature, or maybe the opposite? Is there something about this season that brings both of these, beings to this place at the same time?
I mean, it is the time of the season where the veil is thin. Could be an accidental crossover, as I understand these things. We lack certain information to be able to make a full judgment.
I wonder if there's some way that we could perhaps call the Fae or meet with them, or somehow bring them to talk to us.
Doreena, yes?
Aside from the young woman that you spoke to, do we know of any other elders in the community that would know anything about the Fae?
Oh, that is a very poor idea. When we asked Andor, or I should say, when I asked, he became quite defensive about it, calling it, fairy tales and children's nonsense.
Literal fairy tales.
Yeah.
May I ask who spoke with him?
Well, we both did. I posed a question about the possibility of fey creatures. I did indicate that we'd passed the fairy ring as we came into town. They seemed quite put off, and when we spoke to the daughter, she had indicated that her parents would not have approved. To them, to the other folks, the Fae are just a superstition, I suppose, someone to be feared and perhaps placated at the best of things.
No, I believe it is even better than that. I believe that they are, as Antor said, they are child's tales. Things told to keep the kids out of the woods and such. They have absolutely no reasoning to believe that they are in league with this.
But to be insulted, as you say, seems off-putting. Why would someone be insulted over a question? We are the experts.
Well, I believe it is the way that Marcion phrased it. He insinuated that this man should take it as truth, and
yet it is true.
It is, yes, but not all believe as such, and those not as expert as us can often be put off by such assumptions.
Understood. So it's not put off as in anger or confrontation. More of an insult.
I believe it was put off. It was put off as in why would an adult with a family to take care of believe in such children's tales and take them as truth?
Thank you.
So this is definitely something that is novel in this area than both of these events.
So the young woman is aware. Would there be any other younger members of the community that might know more? Or should we keep this between us?
Oh yes, she had promised the Fae to keep their secret and not tell anyone that they were here. She had asked the same of us. So, of course, we told you because, you need to know what is happening, but we should keep this amongst ourselves.
Understood. So, Malachi, us finding an elder that would know more is most likely a dead end.
I believe that if we are searching out a way to find these Fae, though, that our fairy circle or our mound might be our best options.
Understood.
All right, so you have probably about 4 hours of daylight left. What do you want to do with it?
And how far from the circle?
With a brisk walk, you can get there in 90 minutes.
And the mound itself is like 2 hours or more.
And that's about another half hour beyond that.
I suggest we try lure the beast, as we did as we planned the night prior, and if we can follow up with the phase in the morning.
Did this young woman, did she say what the Fae wanted that maybe we could use to try to lure them too? Was it just
They
food?
wanted food. Butter, bread, eggs, and the such.
Perhaps we can bring the same to try to lure them at the same time. When was it? Was it at night that they came to her? Or?
Mhm.
It was. They came to her window.
So maybe we should be doing 2 sets of lures tonight then. But I in the meantime, I feel like we should go check out the Fae ring, right? Is that what we're?
I believe we should at least try. If they have more knowledge of what this creature may be, they may be able to impart some wisdom that we can use to finish it off. If the creature is going to attack the farm, then we should be safe in the woods, especially if the Fae would agree to help it. With your idea, if we bring some certain amount of supplies, it may make them more amenable to discussing terms with us.
Yes, and I think at the very least, if we make the relatively short trip to the fairy ring now, and if we find nothing there, we can head home or head back here, and at the very least tomorrow morning head out to the mound.
Agreed.
Okay, so you make the trip to the fairy ring.
I think it's with Marcion's and Malachi's idea, though. Maybe grab some type of tiding beforehand.
Yeah,
See
Marcion
if maybe we
would
can get some
pay.
like butter and bread or something like that.
Yeah. I would leave coin. Even if we went back to their farm and talked to one of the older boys.
Well,
and
you're
say-
at a farm. You're meeting at a farm.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, he would. Somebody would ask, I guess, and we would pay for whatever it is that we were taking.
okay, so let's say you grab 3 sesterces worth of produce and dried goods, and you head off to the fairy ring. So as you are heading to the fairy ring, I need everybody to make a spot hidden check.
Oh, 21 out of 50.
I passed.
Maybe 4 over 40.
So who passed?
I
Okay, so the two of you catch sight of something moving through the shadows near the ring, kind of moving away from you, but maybe away and around you, like not really fleeing the area, but trying to maneuver as you approach. It's the same kind of movement you saw when you were coming through the woods the first time.
All right. I call out to them, try to in a kind way, in some kind of non-threatening way.
What do you say?
I say, "Hello, please hear us. Let us speak with you."
Give me a persuade check.
Oh, God. All right. Okay. Here goes nothing. 20. 20. That's a success.
Nice.
20 out of 25.
You hear a melodious voice reply, and it echoes all around you, so you can't really tell where it's coming from. Do you swear to honor the terms of parley, Milesians?
I absolutely swear that.
As to state it clearly, no harm shall befall either one of our parties during this negotiation, and death to the first who draws blood. Are we in agreement then, Milesian?
We are in agreement.
You see a figure step out from behind a tree. Beautiful, tall, slender, pale man, well dressed in blues and greens. Leaning heavily on a large boar spear that he kind of like puts into the ground. And he says, give me 1 second. I got to find their section.
Marcion is just like slapping Herminius and like point, like, look.
He says, well met. I am Suvalis. And you are?
I'm Malachi. This is Doreena, Marcion, and Herminius.
Hello. Hi.
He says, so you called this parley. What do you wish to discuss? Sons and daughters of Mill.
Who has the best, whatever the appropriate way of talking to these people?
So
He's actually speaking really good Latin, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, beyond just Latin.
so if this comes into play, right? Because if we're talking about contract and stuff, would rhetoric and oratory play into?
Rhetoric and oratory is like if you're debating something or arguing something in court, or you're trying to influence a large crowd of people.
Mm.
So that really wouldn't work on like one or two people.
Okay. I mean, I don't have good charm or any of that, so I don't.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. I mean, just if you want to, otherwise I'm gonna.
Neither does Marcion.
So somebody better step up, or I'm doing it.
My talents are with my fists and my weapons.
I mean, he
doesn't appear to be hostile. I mean, he.
Yeah, exactly. I have a 40 charm, which is double base. So, and I feel like we're on friendly terms here, so it can just speak friendly.
I was figuring like Malachi and this gentleman, like more of a. He looks more of like a hunter warrior type person, so they might be more on the same level. So that's why Herminius was kind of just observing for now.
Well, all right. So I appreciate your honest and friendly willingness to speak with us. We have been sent to this village nearby to protect the villagers from a threat that has recently befallen them. And we suspect it may be a threat that you're very familiar with and equally identify as a threat. So we would
So other Milesians have sent you as defenders, as soldiers. I mean, what is your role here? You seem you're not in uniform.
No, we are merely here to be friends to these villagers who have been assaulted by whatever this creature is and has been attacking them in their livelihood, and last night actually killed one of their own.
We did not know. That's unfortunate.
Yes, it was very unfortunate. It may have been unintentional on the part of this creature, but regardless, it's clear this creature poses quite a threat to the village, to us, and apparently perhaps even to you.
Okay. He kind of looks over at the club hanging on your belt, and he kind of like glances over at Doreena with Doreena, you're obviously armed, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not aggressive in any way. The only dirty looks I've been giving is at Marcion.
And Herminius, since you're out in the wilderness, you have your armor on and you've got your sword on.
Oh,
you didn't. So you guys look the part.
No.
And he says, and Macrion, you're a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, well, if you are the humans' champions, perhaps we should be working together. The more hands at a task, the fewer hours of work. And since it's taken one of your own, you have a stake in it,
A stake in what?
in the hunt.
The hunt of what?
Yeah, do you know what this creature is? It's not something that.
Oh, yes, we've been tracking it for several days now. I believe this is the 8th day of our hunt. They usually don't go this long.
Has it come from where you folks come from?
Yes. My companion and I were just about to begin our evening meal before twilight and the hunt begins. I see that you have some extra supplies. Why don't we join together, share a meal? I'll tell you what you need to know, and then we'll join forces and hunt the beast this evening. With luck, by dawn, this will all be behind us.
Where is your companion now?
He steps out from behind you and he goes, "I'm right here."
Macron jokes. Like, oh!
He has a bow drawn. They really didn't trust you guys to honor the parlay.
Is any one of them notably injured?
One guy looks like he has a limp, the guy who was speaking to. And he says, "Pardon me if that was rude, Milesian, but I have more than one friend who's fallen to an iron blade."
We have brought food because we know that you may be in need of the supplies while you're here.
Well, as I said, the hunt has gone longer than we wished. But
yes,
come,
we've
a camp not far and a fire. We'll sit, we'll eat, we'll discuss tactics, and prepare you for the hunt.
Are we to assume that you are the two people who approached the young lady at the house?
The other guy just like looks over at his companion in disgust. He says, "I told you she couldn't hold her tongue."
Nope, she means no harm. We pressured it out of her, but believe me, she has absolutely no intentions to tell anybody else about your presence.
He actually speaks something in their language that you guys don't understand, and they have an exchange. And it looks like the guy who was in concealment is not happy. But the guy who appears wounded is obviously in charge of the two. They are not on equal terms. You can tell that. One is actually subservient to the other. The one who trusts you less is not the one in charge of this operation.
Is he
that works out in our interest?
Is he the one that reacted poorly to, finding out that the woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he says, forgive my friend's rudeness. Ty Jenner has been a soldier for longer than I've been alive, and he was here when your first people came to these isles."
We absolutely understand his concerns. Some of us have actually acted as soldiers in the past as well, but it shouldn't be a concern to you that the young woman spoke to us. The reason that we were even hired is because we are very good at getting this kind of information from people.
The guy whose friend named as Ty Jenner says, as they're leading you to their camp, he goes, "Oh no, this was just proving a point I wished I'd been proven wrong on. I had told my companion that the word of a Milesian was worthless. I'd hoped you'd grown as a people since the last time I dealt with you."
The last time? When was the last time?
Long before you were born, daughter of Mill.
Please don't take the actions of a young woman who is fearful for her very small village as any sign of overly Milesian attitude.
He says, "Well, I hope no harm came to the poor thing."
Oh no, not at all.
Hopefully we can prevent anything from happening to her.
So they bring you to their camp, and somehow you would have probably never found it. You're not even sure how they kept it concealed. Like you turn a tree and suddenly there's a clearing with a fire and a tent. And you're like, you're fairly certain you walked within 20 feet of this place. And you certainly didn't see a fire. So you don't know how they've kept this hidden. They said, we'll be safe for another few hours. So come, there's still there's some, goose left. There's cheese and bread and whatever you've eaten. Have a sit and we'll tell you what we're up against.
Marcion just sort of breaks in. He's like, "Is this a yearly hunt? Is this do you have to prove your strength and your bravery? What is this all about?" There's so
They
much
actually
information.
They actually looked at each other and they smirk and they say, "Are you a wizard? Are you a scholar?"
Yes, I'm a scholar, and he like pats his side. He's got like a bunch of fucking scroll tubes, and
He
then
says,
he like
"Yes,
takes one out.
this is our harvest moon hunt. It's a hunt.
Yes.
It's a ritual hunt to signal the end of boyhood and the acceptance of maturity and of responsibility." And Ty Jenner says, "Yes, and it's not going well."
Yes, and which of you is making the transition, as it were?
Ty Jenner says, "The pup."
So the guy who's been wounded.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, if he would have listened to me, we would have had this hunt wrapped up 3 days ago.
Yes, I see.
The creature that we were pursuing managed to slip through a mound we were not aware of in this area. To return home without the beast's pelt would have brought great shame on his father's house. So against my better judgment, we entered the world of iron in an attempt to bring it down and return to the realm of dreams before we were noticed.
God.
I have two questions. Why is this creature here, and how can we send it back to where it comes from or kill it?
Why is it here? It's here because it knows we are after it. It found a way to elude us. We are less effective hunters here.
A snake that is being chased by a mongoose will attempt to slip through any track it finds.
And it slipped through this one. And most mongooses are smart enough not to follow the snake.
So, what?
You can tell the older guy he is not happy to be here, and he's blaming everything on the younger guy.
What? What's the elder's name?
Ty Jenner.
Ty Jenner, would you wish to discuss tactics with me over here for a couple of moments?
You're the warrior of the team.
Yes.
I'm going to kind of sneak over with that.
He says, Doreena, it was.
Yes, it is.
He says, okay. He says, let me tell you what we're dealing with.
Grab some wine, cheese. Thanks.
We call it a kathshi.
Continue.
It is about the length of one of your horses.
Mm-hmm.
It can climb well. It has 6 legs, long jaws. It is gray and brown of fur, large tail. It is a very good climber. It has excellent hearing, and it is known for being the most cunning and elusive prey we hunt.
I would like to. I assume that you have hunted many in your time.
This is actually only the second one I've hunted. I hunted one when I came of age, and I am here to escort my lord's son on his hunt. I am not here to kill the beast. I'm here to keep him alive.
You mentioned that you had suggested some tactics to be followed.
He says, yes, these creatures hold a grudge. We drew blood on it. It'll probably be back for us tonight.
Okay. What have you suggested to the boy and he has not listened to? As young boys tend to do so.
He won't hold his ground. So, with the two of us, I don't know if I can depend on him. But with your people, I think that we could hold the beast on the ground long enough for myself and the boy to deliver killing blows with our spears. But if there were more of us, it would be confused. It would not know which way to go. It's not expecting Milesians to be aiding us. It may be focused on us. So if we could, he whispers, he says, if we could use the boy as bait, I think we can draw it out. And if you four can buy me enough time, I can wound it, and hopefully the boy will find his courage and deliver the killing blow.
Would you be comfortable if someone were to assist with the boy? How will this fare?
He says, we're going to have to lie about the hunt anyway when we come back, so I don't care if you guys kill it. I don't want to be the one to kill it because then I'll have to hear it from him.
Understood. Thank you.
You said that this beast has heightened senses. Is there any way, any techniques that you know of that we could perhaps dull our smell so that it would not sense us coming?
He smiles and he says, those of the world of iron are so disconnected from the weave. It doesn't need smell to sense you. It has senses beyond that of this world. We revere the Cathshi. It's a sign of our nobility. It is the most dangerous creature that we ever attempt to hunt. They can be deadly. If they were easy to catch, we wouldn't chase them. The only hope we have is outsmarting it. You can't fight a Cathshi as if it's an animal. You need to fight a Cathshi as if it's your equal. If you don't respect it as your equal, then you'll fall to it. Which is why it's killing one is a test.
Understood.
Marcion is furiously scribbling shit down on a piece of fucking papyrus. He's got like a little inkwell and it's sort of like canted on a fucking rock, and he's furiously dipping and scrawling.
Okay, unfortunately, due to our late start, it's already like 11:15 here. And I don't think we're going to wrap up the actual hunt and battle with the Cathshi quickly. So I think this would be around a good time to stop. So if you have any other questions for these two about tactics, about the creature you're hunting, about what the plan is, let's finish all of that up. But moving past this scene, I think we should do that next session.
Is there any particular kind of weapon that is at felling this creature?
They said that our spears are specially designed to pin the creature and keep it at bay.
May I see one?
He smiles and he says, you can see it from here just fine, my lady. He says, but I will not be giving you this weapon. It's a sacred weapon.
Now, you said that your spears are good at keeping it at bay, but you did not exactly answer his question of what can kill it.
Well, the spears will kill it. Most weapons will kill it. You just need to get close enough. But the spears, these spears, when I say they're boar spears, they're long, two-handed spears with a wide crossbar. So after it's stabbed, the creature can't run up the spear on you. So you can kind of hit it and pin it down. And if two people do that, they can kind of control where it is. They can kind of control, basically keep it from running away or keep it into keep it away from escaping into a tree while other people swarm it.
Right.
They say, we did have a dog with us, but when we slipped into the world of iron, it did not follow. Usually we'd be doing this hunt with a hound.
I present the javelin that I had, and I ask them, is this worthy of the hunt?
He takes it up, holds it. He says, yes, this should do fine.
Thank you. I put it. That's the only reason why I wanted to see their weapon, and I make that clear to them.
He says, if we all do our roles, this will all work out fine.
Marcion has less questions about the specifics of this, and it's just peppering them with a million questions of well, what's it like? How do you get here? How long have you been alive? He'll dump into philosophy. He's all over the place.
And Ty Jenner keeps telling him, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. He's a Milesian scholar. They've been trying to invade Tirnanog for centuries. He says, wouldn't you like to know how we get here?
I shoot him a dirty look and just
he gets
says,
a little
we may be allies for this hunt, Milesian, but your people and mine have a history.
Of course, but it's fascinating that we would have the opportunity to sit and he's waving his hands around the clearing and to be able to break bread and this is amazing.
And he looks over at Savalas and he says, and this is why he won't live 80 years.
And he'll.
I'm happy that you're enjoying this, Scholar Macrianus.
Yeah, Macrion. I'll lean over to Macrion and just be like, I believe in this instance we are in a case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
But Savalas says, I wouldn't say that, and then Ty Jenner says, I would. He says, no, those wars were long ago. Those took place before I was even born. And he says, that's because you're a child. He's like, your father and uncle and I fought the Sons of Mill more than once. He says, and because I fought your people, I know that you can be of assistance in this battle. I may not like where I am or who I'm fighting beside, but I respect your abilities.
Thank you.
So, that being said, if we all do our jobs correctly, I feel we can end this hunt successfully, and I can take, my charge and our prize out of the world of iron and be out of your hair. Also, we do have some gold left. I would like to offer some reparations for the dead boy.
Oh,
If that would not be rude.
I think the village would be very grateful for such a kind.
So you help us end this hunt successfully, and we will give you several gold coins to take back to that boy's family and perhaps purchase whatever livestock they've lost. I suppose such things are important.
Yes, thank you.
Is that an accord then?
I believe we've reached an accord, yes.
He kind of looks like shifty-eyed. Like, it can't be that simple, right?
He says, well, we have an hour before twilight. I suggest we all get some rest. There are wards around the camp. We'll be safe until the sun goes down. We should get some rest. It could be a long evening.
Marcion does not. He cannot.
So, as Tygetter, he's asleep within moments. And Savala says, so, do you play cards? And he actually pulls out a deck.
Herminius's eyes widen.
I shake my head in disgust with all of you.
He says, what do you have to wager?
Marcion picks up a fucking rock that's on the ground next to him. And then he reaches into his purse. I'm sure he's probably still got sesterce on him.
Okay. So I think we should end here. It's creeping up on 11:30 where I am.
Right.
And I know Doreena's in the same time zone. And so I think is
All of
Malachi.
you.
Yeah.
We all are.
Everybody except for you.
You little
Out
Southwesterner
there
over
in
there.
the desert.
Yep. That's right. This is pushing my bedtime. Usually it's 8:30 for me. I kind of start winding things down and try to get to bed by 9 or 9.
I had hoped we'd finish tonight, but looking to actually do the finale on October 21st, our last session for October to be launched, to be finishing up the Halloween themed adventure. I think that's also going to be good. And that way I can Shatner up the scenes a bit, really chew up the scenery in the combat round. It's going to be a real long night.
Yeah.
It's like if we squeezed it in now, it would be I'd be cutting corners and
right.
with all this build up to finally,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't want a 2-session build up and have like kind of half-assed 20-minute fight.
Right. All right, so let's wrap this up and then we'll chat a minute.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking this out. We're having a blast playing Cthulhu Invictus. We have our Patreon up and running. If you're interested in throwing a couple of shekels or a couple of sesterce at the podcast, that would be awesome. There's early release stuff and outtakes and post shows and stuff like that. We also have our coffee for sale. It's at tinyurl.com/legendary brew. Shipping is always free. Use the code Legends10. You're going to get 10% off your order. The Legendary Brew is a nice, easy drinking medium roast. It's my everyday drink. I know almost everybody here has had it before and can attest that it's very tasty. And it's roasted by our own GM Neil and or his assistant right now, as Neil is dealing with some stuff in his personal time. But that is still available, and a little bit of money comes back to the show. And it's great coffee, so check that out. There's links in the show notes. Also links for Golden Goblin Press. Check out the store over there. You can pick up your Cthulhu Invictus book. Get the core book over there, and there's a bunch of other cool stuff, so please check that out as well. There's no cons or anything going on. COVID sucks. Everything is shut down. So support, at Golden Goblin Press is fantastic as well. It's also a tip jar over there, so you want to throw some sesterce over Oscar's way, that would also be fantastic. And thank everybody, and thanks for coming by.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.
Peace.
Sweet. Cool. It was. I felt like we I looked at the clock and it was the time.
So are we off air?
We're not. Do you want to go off air?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're gonna talk about game stuff, we'll leave it on.
Okay, then we'll leave it on.
Okay. We'll wrap this into the post show stuff, so I'll edit all this out.
So how are you guys finding it?
Good.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's a unique scenario. It's something I've never played before. It ties into a bit of D&D for me, which is refreshing because I have not played that in so long.
Well, D&D ties into a lot of Celtic mythology, so
Right?
Yeah.
we're kind of coming full circle with with that. I always tell gamers that Cthulhu Invictus is the gateway drug between hardcore D&D players and hardcore Cthulhu players. Because hardcore D&D players will try Cthulhu Invictus, find it very comfortable immediately, and then get addicted to the cosmic horror. And then after 3 or 4 Cthulhu Invictus games, they'll try 1920s.
Yeah. Where now they can jump into Dark Ages now.
Yeah, Dark Ages is back now.
Yeah, I like how the group worked out itself. That we have like the huntress and the warrior, and then the scholar and the talker, and that this so far is giving both groups equal footing, which is real nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you have better like talky like statistics than I do, because that's better for me. Because
social interaction skills.
Yeah.
Because I'll do it no matter what.
Somebody better than me better do this, or I'm going to do it, and I'm going to screw it up. It's your fault. I wish more people would be honest like that. Because usually it's the guy with like 5% who has all the great fast talk ideas, who blathers it and just fucking blows the whole thing. Like, look at your goddamn characters before you start trying to do these things. But
I've been that guy. So
everybody's that guy at one point or another.
Well, and it's cool too because the characters are starting to take shape a little bit more too. So you're getting a little bit of that evolution. So that's fun to see and be a part of as well.
Right.
Yeah, for me, this is my first long-term campaign. Yeah,
it's a mini campaign. We're on our third scenario with our third session together.
So it's really nice to, like you said, get the character development, work with the same people, start to play off of each other. I really like it.
Yeah, it's definitely working out well. I think it's easy for Jesse and I because we've played together for so long. So it's funny that the characters sort of lined up that way, because then that makes this half like super easy.
That just means Malachi and I need to hang out.
So I kind of worked it out that some of you had worked together and some of you hadn't worked together. So that way the group dynamic can form naturally as you play.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next session. See how bad this goes.
I'm really glad that Malachi was like, look, let's just go out into the woods and say, hey.
Right?
Like,
well, again,
that's a valid idea in this. Once you figured out that, hey, they're here to kill this thing.
Right.
We're here to kill this thing. Yeah. They even gave that girl money for food, so they're not,
They could have just stolen it.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe, we're trying to do the same thing. So let's at least try and talk to them. And I
just love Malachi walking into the middle of the woods and being like, parlay to a bunch of fairies. Like,
well, you knew they were out there. You guys, you've been dancing around them for 2 days already.
Only one of us that actually has had seen them, right?
Yeah, you were the only one who actually got a clear look at them.
And
with that incredible fucking, what is it, a 1 last session? A 1 on a spot hidden or something ridiculous like that?
No, I mean, my spot hidden is like a 70 or 80 or something.
Yeah, it's really your best skill.
It wasn't a 1, but it was, yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this one more than I thought I would. So it's a nice, refreshing, low pressure kind of game.
Well, until next session.
Well, won't be stressful for me. I'll survive.
I like my character. No, please.
Well, I think
Well-
our odds just increased substantially with the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know how much you were gonna give me because I'm somewhat familiar with some of this stuff. So like I didn't know how much you'd let me actually play into that he would know. Although he did succeed at the occult roll earlier, so like I guess it's just kind of spinning out of that, I suppose.
Mhm.
I just got something so cool. I can't say it on air.
Oh, okay.
Like, get us off air.
Yeah.
I
All right,
expect an
so-
email very soon.
We'll jump out of here. All right. Thanks, everybody.